Welcome back to the Ascension Series. I'm Dime. I am the founder of Dime and No Mentoring Incorporated. Okay. I have promised myself, how do I put this? As we grow, we sort of have to move to the top of our comfort zone. And self sabotage is something I'm going to be all over the map because I've not rehearsed this at all. I'm literally just shooting from my heart right now. I'm having a day that is probably the best day of my life. Um, Hot flashes and all. As you see, my ears are about to go real red. Menopause is a thing. Ugh. Anyways, um, TMI all over the place, right? So I'm having a day where everything I've busted my ass for 40, almost 45 years, I'll be 45 in December, has come full circle. And I'm sitting in my highest timeline and I want to talk about how I got here. And it got triggered by this beautiful conversation. So let's go back to the comfort zone thing. As we navigate life, and I teach this to the up and coming divine mentors, as we navigate life, we are going to always seek comfort. It's human nature to seek comfort. It's what we do. We're really good at it. You can label it self sabotage, you can label it whatever you want. It's actually just seeking comfort. So if you look at your comfort zone as a box, right? We are really good in the middle of this box. We know down here is where we don't want to go. So we're like, oh, no, we'll just do this. So we do what's required to be right here. And to grow, we have to push ourselves to the top of this comfort zone. You don't want to push yourself outside of the comfort zone because that's going to throw your ego self into it's way too uncomfortable. You're going to get triggered into fear, discomfort, disharmony. The first couple of weeks, you'll be like, yeah, this is so good. And then all of a sudden, you're going to slip right back into boom, into the middle of that comfort zone. So that feels like, and what most people call it is self sabotage, but it's literally just this is what's comfortable. This is what I know. This is why we go back to shitty exes. This is why we stay in shitty jobs. This is why we start a workout routine and then be like, nah, Monday, because we're comfortable. This is where we feel the safest. So as we move through life, what we want to do is be like, what's just 5% above my comfort zone? Let me go there until that becomes normal. Then the comfort zone's going to lift and you're going to be like, okay, this is normal now. We go 5% more and then it lifts. I used to be, and sometimes still can be, like 2 feet in, all or nothing. My partner laughs at me all the time because I'm very impulsive. I'm like, I'm going to do this and it's done. Um, but I look at that as inspired action. When inspired action moves through me, I just jump with it. So rewind, we'll say 10 years ago, wanting to be sitting where I am right now in my dream home, having a retreat center. It's a lot of our goals, right? A lot of us want that. Um, Being on stage, being a public speaker, being a published author, helping thousands and thousands and thousands of people global, not just in Canada or the little town that I lived in. That's where I was. And it was frustrating and it was hopeful. And I don't like hope. I think hope is a 50-50 vibration that says I may or may not do it. In that journey, because I am hella determined and I'm real spicy with my boundaries, I'm very comfortable with my inner bitch. I'm very comfortable with my full authentic self. And she's a big personality. That created a lot of like, I used to joke that I had an I hate diamond club, which was accurate at the time. I triggered a lot of people because I was just so bold and, quote, inappropriate or quote, daydream or lofty, quote, show off, quote, um, I don't even know. It was a lot of shit. So I've watched a lot of people come in and out of my life. I received a tremendous amount of judgment, tremendous amount. I still do it now. I'm like, thank you. I'm triggering you. Now you can look in the mirror and see what's going on. You're welcome. Go figure it out. That's the mentality that I took about 6 years ago. Um, I am a wild child. I have a big, huge personality. I'm loud. I'm sexual. I'm empowered. I swear a lot, like a lot. I love tequila. I love balance. And most of my day is this beautiful Zen working with people, supporting people, watching people fall in love with themselves and their journey and their awakening and ascension process. And then my free time, my human time, is like balls to the walls wild. So creates a little bit of conflict. I used to get, oh, that's not very spiritual. Whatever, here we are. So going through all of that, I hit a lot of lows. I hit a lot of doubt. I hit a lot of forcing it, trying so damn hard to make it happen. This is 10 years ago, to the point where my vibration was so desperate to arrive here that it was like I just gave and worked so hard. And I don't believe in working hard. I believe in working smart. It was a lot of tears, a lot of doubt, a lot of what's wrong with me? Why am I not accepted? A lot of trying to be and fit in the mold of expectation, trying to be perceived as spiritual, which I think is a load of shit now. Not going to do it. You'll never see me fluffy yoga poses on the beach or some bullshit. Like, you do you, that's not me. I want the meat. And I had to go after that. I had to discover what was holding me back. I had to do the deep dive into what was I really creating? What was I afraid of? What was I excited about? It was a lot of work. So I used to take that comfort zone and go all the way up here, try. It wouldn't work and boom, boom, crash right to the bottom of my comfort zone into despair and absolute self shame and guilt. Like, I can't get it right. I don't understand why I'm going like 4 steps forward, 1 step back. I used to, and I want to say this because there's quite a few of you that have unknowingly brought this to my attention about yourself. I used to look for my ticket, the person, the one person I could latch onto that was going to bring me there. Um, so much so that this one time, Colette Baron Reed, I don't know if you guys know her, she's amazing. I ran into her at the grocery store and I was just like, oh, like trying so hard to display who I was, like such an overload. Anyways, because I was like, maybe she'll believe in me. Um, and then it changed. I went through educating myself in regards to how the quantum realm, the science behind spirituality, the awakening process, how that really works. And then I started studying all universal laws instead of just the law of attraction. Then I started studying the Power 369. And that journey brought me to where I am now. So I wanted to share just a couple of stepping stones for all of us. Today is a day that the law of correspondence, which means everything is a reflection, everything is being mirrored to you. You are creating your reality. So I'm going to start with this. You are always creating your reality, whether you like it or not, hard pill to swallow. It's your vibration being reflected back to you through the law of attraction. The law of correspondence will give you all of these signs, all of them. It'll be license plates, it'll be coincidence, it'll be repetitive numbers, it'll be things that just align all the time. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That means you're in alignment, like hardcore. So for the last 3 days, I've been getting all repetitive numbers. I've been getting diamonds everywhere because it's my name. Volkswagen Beetles is my personal sign everywhere. Really wacky ones too. I love it. I've been getting letters of love. I've been getting the reflection of my power through the sisters in my life. I've been watching them step into the power, and that's a reflection of me as well because we match, we vibrationally match. And then this morning, Sarah Rose, who is my top elite public mentor right now, sent me, blew up my phone. And I love her for it because we do that every morning. Blew up my phone in the most heightened state of gratitude I've ever heard from another human that I get to experience every day. She is fully into mentoring souls across the planet through the Divine Alignment Program. And I've explained to my mentors before, there's no words to put what it feels like to watch someone fall in love with themselves right in front of your eyes. There's no way to express what it really feels like to watch someone put the pieces of the puzzle together and move into freedom, move into ease, move into owning themselves, moving into the healed version, the highest version of themselves that's available at this time. And Sarah Rose she's had it a couple of times, but today it hit different. She's having, as I'm recording this, that moment. And it's a fucking honor, man, to have that happen. There's nothing better in this world. And now I'm in a role where my mentors are doing that for souls, and I'm just working with mentors. So it's like I've leveled up into another level, and I get to experience not just souls falling in love with themselves, but mentors falling in love with their own healing journey, their healing journey of their clients, changing the world alongside me. And it was like, so I took a minute, let me tell you. I had a little dance party. And it just made me stop and think, like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, how did I arrive? Like, what were the steps? So let's quickly dive into that. One, you're gonna hate this. I hate it too. It's surrender. Ugh. Who wants to surrender? Like, I was like, what do I do though? I remember years ago being like, but what do I do? Like, what's the next step? I remember praying to my guides. I remember meditating. I remember begging my guides, show me my purpose, show me the steps, show me the next direction. I was so like, give it to me. I want it so bad. I want to change the world. And it ate. And I remember looking back now, like I can look back on like my social media and stuff. Not that I did a lot back then, but I was like, man, I was trying too hard. And it's when I let go of trying and asked myself, what's in my energy vortex? What energy am I radiating into the world right now that is being reciprocated back to me through the law of attraction? You're the law of vibration, law of attraction responds to that. What is my reflection in every single moment of the day? What is the energy of my family dynamic? What is the energy of my home? What is the energy of my physical body? What is the energy of my pets? What is the energy of the squirrels, the birds, the trees, the things outside? What are they reflecting to me? I'm telling you, that is a fucking game changer. When you start to pay attention to your reflection in the world, how you respond to traffic, how you respond to public, how you respond to your reflection in the actual physical mirror, your body, how you respond to, are you controlling your shower in the morning? Are you going through like, this is my routine, this is how it goes, let's get it done, let's get it out of the way so that I can move on? Or are you present in that and being like, hi, body, I love you, and honoring your body and talking to your body? That's probably the biggest shift that changed my world for me, was slowing down. I'm not very good at this. Slowing down and being present and surrendering into each and every moment. That it's so much bigger than that when you understand how the power of 369 works through you, with you, for you. It's a game changer, like altered my world completely. But I didn't understand that when I started surrendering. So it was like, how present can I be in everything that I do? I program my water every day into vitality, into prosperity, into mental clarity, into emotional ease. Every day, what do I need? What does my body need? I program my water, and that's just intention. You just put the intention into the water. And then every time I sip it, there's a sticky note underneath my water always. So every time I pick it up, I see the sticky note and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm ingesting right now. That's what I'm allowing to expand in me right now. So that was one big thing. Try it. It's about being present when you're sipping it. I started looking at my food as 3 food groups: nutrition, hydration, and pleasure. So if I'm eating like grapes, that's nutrition and hydration. If I'm eating protein, I'm like, oh, it's nutrition. If I'm eating cupcakes, it's pleasure. I allow my body to receive all of those things. But as I'm eating, I'm being mindful of, what am I ingesting? Because however we perceive it, believe it more so, but perceive it, and what we tell our body to do with it, that will be the outcome. So I started slowing down drastically with my food and eating very present. Sometimes I still stand at the counter because I have a huge kitchen window and it looks at the forest. So I'll just stand at the counter and just slowly eat and be like, ah. So that was a big thing. Again, surrender. being present in the moment. You guys know my mantra, thank you, I love you. Man, the more you look for reasons to say thank you, I love you, your life changes. I don't want you to be like, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, because the body doesn't believe it. The ego has to participate for you to become the vibration. This is why killing your ego, shunning your ego, no, don't do that. As your ego participates, it merges with that consciousness that's in you, that soul essence, and two become one, and it becomes aligned. So my ego is always present with everything I'm doing. My body loves pleasure. Go look in the mirror and tell me that yours doesn't. We are pleasure creatures. We have taste buds. We've got laughter. We've got sense of humor. We've got buttons on the body that are pleasure buttons. We are a species that desires to seek pleasure. And I truly feel that when we seek pleasure and we seek the reasons to say, thank you, I love you, it transitions the vibration of how we reside in our day-to-day energy, right? So if you're seeking evidence that you are stuck, if you are seeking evidence that you are broke or lacking love or lacking or overweight or any of those things, you're going to have more of that experience. You're going to ingest more of that vibration. So I want you to start really truly looking at your life and like, what can you say thank you, I love you about? It sounds so simple, and it is so simple, but we complicate ourselves by going into the lack mentality. That is going to be the biggest shift. I was not able to do that shift because I dated douchebags, like hardcore douchebags for the longest time, because I see the best in everybody. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, they're so pure behind closed doors. And that's what held me back, is I didn't allow myself to experience the love I was reciprocated to me. I still had some limiting beliefs in and around love. So when I rewind 10 years ago, they weren't all douchebags. I know some of you watch this. Some of you are great humans. We're not pointing fingers. But there was quite a few douchebags and assholes. And, I would get a different version of them behind closed doors, or I would pick partners that had no fucking motivation whatsoever. And I am a highly motivated woman. If I'm going to build this fucking empire that's going to take over the whole wide world, I gotta have some motivation. And I was dating people who were lackluster, who were lazy, who were in that lack mentality. So when you think about your energy field, your energy radiates into your electromagnetic field, your aura. It's the same thing. Let's call it the vortex. Okay. So everything that I am is radiating into the egg that is around me, the ball that's around me. So is yours. So are the douchebags. And so their energy and my energy were intermingling. And because I had love for them, or thought I had love for them, just hadn't healed my damn self, um, I would be absorbing that and trying and acknowledging and seeing it and being like, okay, how do I support them through that? What example do I set? Don't do that. So that was probably what held me back the most in truly launching myself into the world. The same thing with my social circle. I remember having one very powerful, very wise person in my life who I cherished drastically, who would always be like, is that your ego dime? And I was like, ego is not bad. So that frustration of being judged consistently for using my ego, or being the funny girl, or running around in a unicorn outfit, because I do that, or loving Chardonnay at the time. I loved Chardonnay at the time. Now it's whiskey. But anyway, um, it just would push against me and I would feel judged. I would feel frustrated. So I couldn't get my vibration where it was. So over time, I had to start setting loving boundaries. I'm really good at, if you cross me, the bridge is burned. I will torch it and I will celebrate while I'm doing it. I will do a happy dance while I'm doing it. I'll be like, there you go. Yes, I've been really good at that. I had to learn to soften with that and just be like, it's just energy. Um, so That took me a long time to learn. Once I learned that, then it was like, just take space. It's fine. Like, I love you, but I'm taking space. I didn't even have to say it. I just literally took space. So there's that. I started looking at my comfort zone. And instead of running full tilt like I do with everything, I started slowing down and being like 5%. I'm going to do 5% this week until it becomes normal. If it takes me a month, then it takes me a month. It's just 5%. That's a huge game changer as well. Just slowly upping the bar 5%. Um, so that could look like adding journaling into your routine and getting self clear. It could look like moving and programming your water. That's 5%, right? Until it becomes a normal routine, a normal piece of your life. So that made a big difference. From there, it went into really making sure that my meditations were scheduled, listening to the rhythm of my body. My body used to be mostly inspired in the evening. When I started dating my now partner, it's not an option. Family dynamic takes over. So I had to train myself to move that inspiration into the morning. But that was something I chose to do. It's a choice. So I chose to do that. And that took a little bit of time because the law of inspired action is when things are moving through you for your next stepping stones. That's how we direct and guide ourselves. That's how we find our clarity and step into purpose or love or money or whatever, health, whatever, right? So that was a piece of it. Um, where was I going with that? Now I've seemed to have lost my thought. Anyways, the stepping stones. Um, so I started setting boundaries. My meditation started putting that in so that I would get the clarity and not going into a meditation with an expectation. That's what a lot of people are doing right now. It's okay if nothing happens. Sometimes something huge is going to come through, like a vision or whatever. It's part of training your ego to play nice. Your ego has to learn, like a wild stallion, it's got to be calmed down and it's got to learn how to participate properly. So you'll get little visions, you'll get little snapshots, you'll get like noses or eyes or a person or a scenery or whatever, or even just colors until your ego can stop participating in the conversation and just observe. You're going to get big energy downloads. You're going to get energy healing. You're going to physically feel things. And then you're going to get nothing. You're going to napitate for a really long time. And that's okay too. That's all part of the process. So going into your meditation with no expectation whatsoever, the body's going to do, the soul's going to do, everything's going to do what's required for your next level of evolution. Look at yourself as like a plant that's growing. It's not going to stop growing unless it's ignored. It's not going to stop growing unless there's no nutrients in its soil or water or sunlight. So your job is to figure out, how do I provide these things to my evolutionary process? So that 5% action is going to be really important. Moving into your thank you, I love you, really important. Look for reasons to say thank you, I love you. I literally use colored pens just because I love color so much. I'm like, thank you, I love it. Um, I've all anyway, ADHD coming in. From there, you're going to go into clarity. What is it that I desire to receive more of? Or what do I desire to receive less of? And then you're going to put your focus on the thing that you want to come in. So you're going to start telling the story of, this is coming in for me. This is what I'm ready for. And then you're going to use the law of correspondence to look for all the micro evidence of it coming. Every time you get 11, 11, 111, every time you get a sign, every time you get something, that is the law of correspondence moving through you saying, confirmation, 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 confirmation. Sometimes big things take a little bit of time in the human perception to come in, but the path of least resistance will bring you the highest possible outcome if you just keep looking for the evidence. And that's why I love Thank You, I Love You so much. So that was a big piece of it. From there, I moved into being a little bit cynical about love, um, thinking that it wasn't something for me. So that was the next thing I had to tackle. Sometimes I'm a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass. But I did. I got really cynical about love for a bit. And I used to joke that plane tickets were my partner, and they were. There was a lot of plane tickets. But it was also an experience that brought me so much clarity and joy. the surrendering into the moment. When I started doing that, I started giving myself permission to seek pleasure. Absolutely 100% seek pleasure. I was a freedom seeker and a pleasure seeker. That for me meant what makes me feel freedom? What makes me feel pleasure? So is that really great food? Telling the story of what food category is it's in? Was it the pleasure of plane tickets? It sure was. Was it the pleasure of slowing down my workouts? Was it the pleasure of long, beautiful walks? The pleasure of hanging out with soul family, soul sisters, and soul brothers, and soul, just beautiful souls in general, and receiving? I started seeking all of the ways that I could heighten my moment. And, not everybody agrees with all of those things, like meditate, masturbate, huge thing for me. That was great. Yeah, I said that. A glass of whiskey in the evening is very pleasurable for me. Um, Hugs from my friends, cuddles with my animals, sometimes shopping, sometimes some superficial things for sure. Sometimes just slowing down and sitting in the bath and talking to my 20-year-old self, my 30-year-old self, my 5-year-old self. Music is pleasure for me. These things stir my soul and make me, when I'm present with them, move into that expansion of thank you, I love you, and gratitude. So, very fulfilling experience for me. Every day, I seek joy, pleasure, freedom in every single moment. I then started teaching and incorporating the four bodies. So in the program Fully Awaken and Ascend, there's this chart that we have on the four bodies, and you fill that chart with things that bring you fulfillment. And so every day I would pick one thing off of each chart, like each category, and I would make sure that I was scheduling it into my day and fueling myself. I never gave myself permission to doubt my daydream, because if your mind can conceive it, you can receive it. So even in the moments of doubt, I got a little sign that said, don't give up on your daydream, because your daydreaming, your imagination is the gateway to absolute freedom, because your mind can conceive, it can receive. Your mind cannot conceive the impossible. So it doesn't mean that you're going to go from right here, right now to super famous on a stage. It means that all the stepping stones to that process are going to provide themselves one at a time, and trust that process. So there's that piece. Then what really took it over the edge for me was listening to every single boundary, as uncomfortable as it was, every boundary that my soul required, that my human required. So those, and I was not very good at that even last year. And I didn't realize it either. So some of my socialization would be with people who, when you have a conversation with someone and they use sympathy instead of empathy, that is like a trigger for me. Like, why are you doing that? Sympathy being, well, at least, and I was like, that I don't feel heard. But when someone's empathetic, which my partner is the most empathetic man I've ever met in my life, like I'm so blessed. When I allow my ego to be a little cranky or stressed or processing or whatever that be, I'm reciprocated with, oh, babe, that must be really hard for you. And I feel so heard. I'm like, oh, thank you. But a year ago, my socialization was still in and around a lot of sympathy. Like, well, at least you've got this going on. And well, at least you've got that going on. And it's really hard to feel invisible. It's really hard to have someone not understand your challenges. It's super painful. I'm well into this journey. And if I'm around people who are like, well, I don't know what you're complaining about. You have clients global. Well, I don't know what you're complaining about because, and it's like, do you have any idea how heavy my life is? Like, there's moments where I'm like, I don't know how to keep going forward. And I just want someone to see me and love me, hold space for me. So, really setting yourself up for what are you receiving from the people in your life? The other piece was I was living in the city. My partner and I don't cohabitate yet. We both have been very independent souls. We're moving towards that. We've both been very independent souls and we like our space. And when we come together, it's amazing. We see each other a lot. But a year ago, I was living across the street from him. So he was in his house, I was in my house. We were looking at each other's windows. It was really cool. It was perfect, but I was in the city and I wasn't listening to the boundary of I require country. I require serenity. I require being able to go outside and not be inundated by people, barking dogs, sirens, traffic noise, pollution. Ugh. It was way of an overload. And I knew that, but I didn't listen to that. I didn't follow that until now. And now I've done that for myself. When I listened to every single boundary, one of the boundaries was my body wanted to give up red wine. And I was pretty stubborn with that because in the evening, I love a drink at the end of the day. I love a glass of wine at the end of the day. And my body was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. And I was like, I'm going to be stubborn. So I didn't listen to those boundaries. And as soon as I start listening to all of those boundaries and allowing the true requirement for my evolution to find me, which it did, everything will. You don't have to go hunting. You don't have to go searching. You don't have to do any of those things. You just have to trust that that thing is going to find its way to you because it's a requirement. You're an energetic vortex. Whatever is required, this is important. Whatever is required for your evolutionary process to experience all of the things that you are here to experience, which means love, prosperity, health, vitality, friendship, soul understanding, awareness, the healing journey, freedom. You are here to experience those things. 100% you are here to experience those things. They are required, an absolute requirement for you to experience in order to arrive at your highest timeline. You cannot arrive at your highest timeline if you do not experience those things. So they are a foundational requirement, meaning they will come with ease when your vibration just aligns with it. You don't have to find it. So I surrendered. I set all my boundaries, let it be, because it's a requirement for my evolution. And then that is how I arrived here completely, where every day, not every minute of every day, because I have a fucking puppy who's not learning how to go to the bathroom outside. I love her, but whew, and she a busy girl. She's so busy. She's so mean to Trevor the cat. Oh my God. Anyways, so not every minute of my day, but the majority of my life experience right now is in my highest timeline. And it is laughter, it is love, it is gratitude, it is ease, it is phenomenal. And I want that for every human who is willing to stop being an asshole. The assholes, you can do you. I don't have any interest in that. But those of you that are here with me, those of you that have been supporting me with beautiful, loving comments, those of you that have been sharing this content with the people that you love, those of you that are supporting me and continuing to bring these messages to the world, I want that for you so bad. You're my people. I want that for you because I know what it felt like. I know what it feels like all along the way, and I know what it feels like to arrive. So I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to surrender into doubt. I want you to play with just what I've shared. So take some notes, set yourself up for success. I put sticky notes everywhere to remind me, to trigger me. I put notes on in my calendar on my phone, my screensaver on my phone. I put aromatherapy on. I listen to good music. I like all of the things that help me move into that so that I can continue to look at, am I allowing my highest timeline in? Or am I looking at lack and staying stuck? Because it's a choice. So you have to set yourself up for success. You have to make this decision. But when you do, so fucking good. All right. I am now officially late by 2 minutes for a call. Thank you. I love you. And I will see you guys live on Thursday, early afternoon, Eastern time. All right. Bye.